Welcome back to Hot Water Wrestling, and boy does it feel good to be back. I'm sorry I've been away for a little while, away from my usual setup, and unfortunately the problem is going to persist a little bit. I've gotten a little busier in my work and also had a few hard drive issues that are never fun to deal with, but nonetheless I have fought back graciously to make a video today. And my video today is on the subject of bald wrestlers and signs in the WWE. So let's start with the bald wrestlers. What's the deal with all these wrestlers going bald, you know? I mean, it wasn't really too popular of a thing to do until Stone Cold Steve Austin came around and shaved his head bald. And now it seems every time I turn around, we got another superstar going bald. We got Batista. He started out with hair, and then the hair slowly went down until he was bald. Randy Orton had hair. The hair slowly went down until he was bald. And it's just like Kane, another one. He had hair and he's bald. You know, I don't know if Kane's balding. I think Kane actually genuinely is balding, but there's guys out there with bald heads who aren't genuinely balding, and Randy Orton's one of them. That annoys me. I think he looks more threatening and more evil. I think it adds a lot more to his character for him to have just a little bit of hair on his head. Not a lot, not as much as he started out with, but some. And, you know, when all these guys go bald with all their tattoos, they all look the same. You know, they all look, you know, black trunks, tattoos, bald head. It's getting a little old. I'm trying to think of another guy. I'm sorry, I didn't really prepare as well as I should have for this in writing down all the bald wrestlers, but I think you catch my drift. What are some of the other ones out there? Can you guys think of any? Why don't you message me? And what do you think about these wrestlers going bald and this whole bald look? Because it's just, to me, it's getting old. It most certainly is, you know. Another thing is these signs in the crowd that you see on Raw and SmackDown, and that you sometimes get at the house shows. Well, usually get at the house shows. I mean, what's with these people? I mean, every time wrestling comes to my neighborhood, man, I am on it, and I am trying to find a seat in the lower bowl section, like in the first row of the lower bowl, so I'm a little bit raised up and I got no one in front of me, just so I don't have signs in my way when I'm trying to watch the match. I mean, I just don't understand how this whole thing is supported. If you are in front of me at a wrestling match, holding a sign in front of my face, I am going to grab it out of your hand and tear it up, okay? I don't care what it says. Don't bring signs to wrestling matches. We don't need signs at wrestling matches. They're obnoxious and they're annoying. And it seems like the new thing for guys to do is they hold up this sign and it'll be like Rick or Lori and Greg, you know, whatever the names are. Like, here we are on TV, you know, it's just absolutely ridiculous and distracting. You know, a sign or two here and there is great, and, you know, if someone comes up with something clever, but it seems the entire crowd is flooded with signs, and that's just got to get annoying to the spectators, and it's just, I don't know, it's just a cheap thing to do. I would ask that any of you going to see wrestling live, don't bring a sign. You know, just go buy a t-shirt of your favorite wrestler and wear it and scream and yell and holler at the people around you. You don't need a sign. I'm sitting at home watching Raw. I don't give a damn what's on your mind. I'm trying to watch the show. Don't take it personal. But seriously, knock it off with the signs, people. What are you, 5 years old? But, yeah, those are two little wrestling rants I wanted to go on. I guess while I'm at it, I'll say a little something about bragging rights. You know, I should have said this to begin with, but I didn't, and I kept it in. I had a feeling deep down that bragging rights was actually going to turn out to be a pretty damn good pay-per-view, and it actually was not bad. The Morrison Miz match was good. The triple threat match I liked. I thought that was good, and I loved to see Batista's heel turn. His character was getting stale, his character was getting predictable, and Rey Mysterio had kind of, you know, not fit into a lot of programs that WWE had been doing recently. So it's very good to see life breathed in the two of their most prominent superstars, two of their biggest merchandise pushing and famous, I guess we could say, superstars on the roster. Two guys that were lost before bragging rights, and now they have a cause and a purpose, and I really feel good about that. I've never been the biggest fan of either of these guys. If they were both to retire tomorrow, I wouldn't miss them. But I'm glad that life is brought back into their characters, because I like to see good wrestling, and I like the product to be good, and I think this is going to help that. So props to WWE for giving Mysterio and Batista a reason to exist. I'm going to skip the Divas match like I always do. I'm going to skip the SmackDown Raw Tag Team for Survivor Series BS thing. Good for SmackDown, they won, whoop-de-doo. And then we have the hour-long John Cena versus Randy Orton Iron Man match. And I thought this was a good match. Way better than I thought that they would pull off. And yeah, you know, we've talked about the gash on Cena's head, and you know, that added to the excitement. Something I was talking about, the blood. It's not that we're all bloodthirsty, but you know, having cuts and bumps and bruises does add to the excitement of a match and to a contest. And I was glad to see that go down. It was actually, excuse me, it was actually kind of neat that the officials came out there and wiped it off. It almost gave it kind of this MMA-ish boxing type realism, that they were actually wiping the blood away. You know, I've always wondered something about wrestlers. First of all, when they bleed and they're gushing blood everywhere, they never seem to have a towel around to wipe their face. And another thing is, you don't ever really see them drink water. You know, I think about like matches that these guys do and programs that they do, and they don't really drink a lot of water. And I just think to myself, gosh, I'd be thirsty as hell right now if I was one of them, and I'd be like clamoring for some water. And it's so odd that they don't have, like, you know, some water around the ring where they can jump out of the ring and take a swig or something. You know, if permitted. They couldn't do this in every match, no, but something like an hour-long Iron Man match, you know, I think, you know, during this 30-second break or whatever, but, you know, there, you know, but anyways, the match was really good. They took it to all parts of the ring, out to the floor. They really mixed it up, and I thought it was a really good back and forth, and much better than I expected, or any of you expected probably. So props to them, props to bragging rights, and you know, I'm glad that the pay-per-view went off well. I just, you know, I have my concerns about WWE, and this time changing the face of wrestling forever, and I don't think it's for the best. But let's hope and pray that this blows over and we just get back to regular business. But anyways, I just wanted to talk about those things today, and keep watching. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave your comments. Drop me a personal message. Whatever you're going to do. And I'll see you next time on Hot Water Wrestling.